everybody. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome to Let's Talk, your optimal health community podcast. I'm Amber Leah, and man, I'm looking at that picture right now. For those of you that are live or able to watch, if you're listening on the podcast, we're post this live recording. We're glad that you're here. But if you could see this, there's a before and an after picture of me. And it genuinely makes me stop in my tracks every time I see it. I released 100 pounds. This is going into my 8th year of being healthy. And I'm so grateful. It's one of the reasons I'm here tonight because it was a big part of my journey. This community was a big part of it. And it's a big part of it still, all these years later. And I'm super grateful for not only what this health journey has done in my life, but in the lives of the next generation, my own kids and my family. So we're glad that you're here. If you're new, welcome. I see a lot of you putting in the chat already where you're from, so keep that going. But I'd also love for you to put in the chat just one thing that's been a victory for you in the last week, whether it's a scale victory or a non-scale victory, doesn't matter. Just share us something that is a very obvious win for you that you are proud of. So put those in the chat. We want to celebrate you. Again, one of the good things about community is being able to do that. So tonight we're talking with 3 young people who have done something most people don't do until much later in life. And that's me. I hate to say it, but I had 4 kids and I was filled with all kinds of fatigue and autoimmune disease and scary doctor diagnoses that I was finally like, all right, I've got to do something about this. And I do wish I hadn't waited so long. Maybe that's you. If you can relate to me and you had some scares before you decided, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. But the people that we're talking to tonight, they've done something most people don't do. They've chosen health now as a young person. And so they aren't waiting until they have low energy and chronic disease and all of the pressures of that on their, emotional life that, gosh, I better take this seriously. They're avoiding all of that. So I'm really proud of them. They're building a healthy future today. So I want to introduce them and hear their stories. If you have anybody in your life that is a little on the younger side in their 20s, maybe early 30s, teens, then you're going to be really encouraged by the conversation tonight because I've been getting to know these 3 wonderful, wonderful people over the last few days and weeks, and you're going to be inspired and encouraged. So welcome, Caden and Amaya, and also Jonah. We're so glad that you're taking the time out of your busy, vibrant lives to be here with us. So thank you for coming. We're very thankful. One thing I would love for you, each of you, to share, and maybe we'll start with you, Caden, is just tell us a little about yourself. I've already shared with everybody that you didn't wait till you were older to get healthy, but tell us a little bit more about that. Like, why did you start on a health journey at a young age? And you're also paying it forward, helping other people, which is super inspiring. So, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are you not waiting till later in life?
Yes, well, first of all, I'm here because I'm thankfully very blessed, but I came to the program because I had watched my parents go through quite a long journey of health. And I watched my mom do over 17 plus different diets throughout my childhood. And when she stumbled across our program, it was truly the one thing that set her free. She lost 65 pounds in 6 months. My dad went on to lose 70 pounds in 6 months. And I saw the physical transformation, not only firsthand, but I saw how much it changed them on the inside. My mom's knees used to creak loud as walking across a creaky board when she would go up and down the stairs. And after losing the weight, like, it went away. She could walk more. She was more present with me and my 6 younger siblings. And it wasn't until I went to college, because I grew up as an athlete playing 3 to 4 sports a year, that I realized that you just can't outtrain your fork. Once the athletics go away, all of a suddenly nutrition starts to really matter. Stress starts hitting you from every side. And just after my freshman year alone, I was up 15 pounds. Then I graduated from college and I was up 30 pounds. Then my mother-in-law got breast cancer. And next thing I knew, I was 53 pounds heavier. I didn't recognize the person that I saw in the mirror anymore. I felt horrible. I was sleeping bad. I was stressed all the time. And when you know better, it's up to you to do something about it. And because the change that I'd seen in my own family, I realized I had to jump on program. I had to get this reset going, get off that stubborn layer of subcutaneous and visceral fat that was driving all of this stuff. And I ended up losing 53 pounds in 5 months. My health completely changed from there. And in the process of losing that weight, I was watching all these people around me walk through what most early 20-year-olds do. They build up these bad habits while they're in school or while they're getting started in their careers, and it starts to spiral as life gets more and more chaotic. And it was like, I want to see them get healthy. I want to see them change too. I can't just keep this to myself. And so I decided to become a coach day one of my journey because I already knew that this was going to be a means that I could impact people. And I knew that that would heighten my accountability to stay on program if I could connect that to monetary value. And so that's what I decided to do. And now, 7 years later, we're still coaching people strong. We're still feeling amazing and pursuing our best metabolic health. And it's been electric.
That is electric. I love that. Thank you, Caden. That is definitely inspiring, especially the fact that you've been in this now for quite a long time, years. It's not like it was a fad for you or just a phase you were going through as a young person. So I love that you're still working it out and walking it out. It's wonderful. Okay, how
Yes.
about you, Amaya? We'd love to hear just you. I mean, you're a little bit younger and you're just getting started, but you've been
Yeah,
around healthy people for
yeah,
a lot of your life, I know.
over
But
17 years.
yeah, 17 years.
Yeah,
And yet, our journeys are all our own, aren't they? It doesn't matter what your
absolutely.
family does or the people around you, like we all own our own journey at some point. So tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about yourself and what this has looked
yeah,
like for you.
absolutely. So my parents have been in health coaching for years, but what I saw was I had to go through my own personal journey of feeling so sick and tired and realize not every 20-year-old is just going to be skinny or walk out, just feeling the most confident. And every girl in their 20s wants to feel like they can walk into a room and feel confident around their friends. And my heart is to truly just every woman to find breakthrough, mind, body, spirit, and finances. But what I noticed is I wasn't walking that out myself because all through high school, I was dealing with chronic fatigue. I was 30 pounds overweight, and I just couldn't get the weight off. I was trying every little diet or just, eating like my friends would eat, just very, very small, pretty much junk food, and just nothing was working. And it wasn't until I actually consulted more of a holistic nutritionist around just what health coaching could look like, what the metabolic reset is, and truly actually understanding the science of it, that I was able to go on and do my own metabolic reset, but then go on to actually lose 30 pounds and compete in a bodybuilding show and completely reverse my metabolism. And for once in my life, not feel like I'm tired every day around 3 p.m. And then through that, I was able to go on and launch actually 2 health retreats this past year, and from those 2 health retreats, launch by health coaching, a women's community app that is going kind of global to really just help women find breakthrough, mind, body, spirit, and finances. So my journey truly started by like finding breakthrough myself and realizing like you can't do it alone either. The community was a huge part. Coaching was truly my heart for it because yes, you can go it into health coaching yourself, but unless you're like creating that own ripple effect in your life, then you're going to gain all the weight back. And you see that a lot for people is they'll just lose the weight. And I did because I actually did lose 30 pounds here into a bodybuilding show, got myself out of community, gained it all the way back, and then just the past like 3 months lost it again. So that's where it's like getting yourself in community completely changed the game for me. And through going through my own metabolic reset and also starting health coaching, I've been able to fund different retreats, help other girls take their health back, teach them holistic wellness as well, and to really just like feel well again. So,
I mean, that's what it's really all about, right? And I think when you feel well, that it becomes an intrinsic motivation that you want to pay it forward. Because when you feel good, you want others to feel as good as you do. And I can hear that in both of your stories. I basically want to be like all of you guys when I grow up. You guys know what you're talking about. This is so cool. Thank you, Amaya. I appreciate that. Okay, Jonah, tell us a little bit about your story. You're also on the younger side, which is super inspiring, but you have your own unique situation. So tell us why you decided to focus on your health now and not wait until later in life.
Yeah, well, in high school, just thinking back, I tried a lot of different ways to work around my busy schedule to be able to build muscle and work on my strength training. Because I've always been passionate about weightlifting. Um, but for the longest time, I was running intermittent fasting and found myself falling asleep in fourth period pretty consistently. After lunch, just every day, I would just crash. And then when I got home, I'd have to take a nap before doing anything. Um, and this was pretty consistent. And my mom, she tried working on me for a long time. It didn't kick in until honestly a few months ago, when I started doing the 6 meals. And that really made a big difference for me. It helped me not only to get all of my protein in, so I wasn't just stuffing myself at the end of the day, but it helps me to have a lot more energy because I'm currently working heating and air conditioning as well as health coaching. And I work 10-hour shifts. So I end up taking these snacks throughout the day, and Optavia, honestly, just the protein bars and the crunchers help me so much to be able to actually do that at work, rather than meal prep a million things all the time.
So true. I mean, that was one of the things for me too, is I think all of us, whatever age and stage you're at, the simplicity, having something that's simple that you know is effective is a game changer. Okay, so you guys have all mentioned a little bit about, your family and people that have come alongside you and encouraged you. But most people your age are really not on their own, necessarily thinking about metabolic health. They're not thinking about doing a reset for their health. So if you could tell every teenager and or 20 something that uh, one thing that you think would be the most important thing for them to consider about taking care of their body, what would it be? Like, what do you want to tell the teens, the 20 somethings out there about taking care of their body if they're not currently really, if that's not on their radar? What would you say to them?
It's not going to get any easier than it is now. That's what I would say. I would say take a hold of it now because the next, 20 plus, 60 plus years of your life it's all riding on right now. So
Life
That's
moves
wisdom.
insanely fast. I can't even tell you how much my life has changed from when I was 21 years old to where I'm at now, just about to turn 30 in October. In the last 9 years, so much has changed. You just get busier and busier and busier. And the more that you prioritize your health now, the more that you can solidify habits at a younger age that will stick with you, that you're not going to have to spend a really long time reversing those habits. We get stuff in our head and it sticks, and we're like, oh man, I should be intermittent fasting like Jonah talked about. And then you just think of that as that's the only way. And then all of a sudden you're still implementing that all these years later. So take the time to really invest in yourself now. It'll pay tenfold.
Yeah, Gayla Mead just said in the comments, I wish I had figured this stuff out at your age. So I know a lot of us that are listening already are like, okay, yeah, this is so good that you are cluing into this. And I'm pretty sure all of us are going to want the young people we have in our lives to listen, to hear all of your wisdom. Jonah, did you have any comment on that one about what you wish you could tell your peers?
Well, I try. My best friends consistently they talk about how they want to start, how they always want to start. They always want to get where I'm at. They want to get my shoulders or get my back or do as many pull-ups as I can, whatever the heck, you know. Or they want to get their abs. They just have to take that first step and set a goal, and stick to one part. I would just say, like, even just focusing on your protein intake is a huge step, which is way better than most people do. One of my friends specifically, he does ballroom, and so he does college and ballroom. So he's like dancing all day, and then he ends up missing lunches because he's dancing too long, and then he can only eat so much before he has to go to a lesson. And this just isn't conducive to being able to preserve your muscle and actually have energy for anything. It makes it difficult. And oftentimes he asks me, what should I do? Like, just start with one thing, just start with protein. That would be honestly, my biggest advice for anybody who's just wanting to start.
Yeah, that's so good, Jonah. Jeff said that in the chat. It's the start that stops most people. And that is true for, again, for any age. But I think when you're young, you have this idea that you have the rest of your life ahead of you. And so maybe I don't need to start right now. I'll worry about that down the road. And so I hear you guys loud and clear that you're saying, don't wait. Start now,
About
figure
that
it out.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
One thing specifically, my dad has consistently had back issues, and it's caused a lot of limited ability in his life. Um, that was one of the examples that my parents set for me. Was when they hopped on program, my dad was able to play volleyball with me again. That was something that I was able to get back when he started focusing on himself. And I mean, since then it's been amazing. We've had so much fun together, and I'm hoping he continues his journey because that's what you have to do. And it's been great so far. Yeah.
That's so good, Jonah. I am certain that he is really, really grateful to have you in his life and doing this together. And we think of sometimes as community as this right here, right? Like our larger community, but our community of the nucleus of our family is where it begins. And so I can tell that that's been key for all three of you. I would love to find out, like, first of all, you can kind of answer either one of these questions, but what's something that family members or even specifically your parents did that was helpful, that you would say that was really beneficial for me in leaning in and paying attention to my own health, and my future? I think that will be helpful for us to hear that want to do the right thing for our own children and grandchildren. And so our ears are really in tune right now to what you have to say, something that your parents did that were helpful, or that you would say, hey, parents, do more of this.
The two that pop up for me right away is first one is like go be active in life with your kids. As you're transforming in your own health journey, bring them a part of it. Make activity fun. Exercise is not just going and lifting in the gym. It's being able to enjoy life to the fullest. And the more you can bring your kids in with you to do those things, especially as you're able to do more of it, I think that's really exciting and also just builds a really good habit for them long term. One thing that my family did with me is we would go through like on the Optavia app, or we go pick it out from one of our client support pages. Like we go look at the recipes that are on the page, and every Friday we would pick out a recipe that we would make together. And I was the pickiest eater of all time. Like my mom would tell a lot of jokes about how she put a bowl of steamed broccoli in front of me and I cried and just like, you have to eat it. And I wanted to gag and I wouldn't eat it. Long story
Your mom
short, by
is
bringing
your mom is chiming in the chat, and she's saying yes, he was the worst.
I wasn't easy. I would rather have a Tostino's Pizza Rolls or a Pop-Tart or something. But by allowing like me to be a part of it, to pick out something that was good sounding to me, I learned that I liked cauliflower mashed potatoes when she told me that they were regular potatoes and they were actually cauliflower. I didn't know a difference, but it started expanding my taste buds and prepared me for when I was ready to get healthy down the road. So yeah, bring them in.
Good advice. Love it.
But adding on to that, I would say like parents who truly set the example, but also not to be forceful because no one wants to be forced. Kind of like how Kaden said, it's like they set the example there, they put it there, they kind of put the broccoli in front of him and he had to eat it. But at the same time, they slowly progressed into just being a part. Like your family is healthy. It's not like we're gonna go out for brownies one night and like, eat nothing the next. It's like it's a balance. Everything's a balance in a family, and you set the example. And to truly just know that like your family is kind of riding on you. And that's how I saw it with my parents. It was like until they got fully healthy and fully surrendered and everything in their life, did I actually see a shift in my own life because they were taking it to the next level. So I saw that, my sister saw that, and we took it to the next level in our health as well. They competed in a bodybuilding competition. 2 years later, I competed in a bodybuilding competition. But yeah, and my sister competed like in high level dance. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true that I think that we sometimes are more worried about the influences that our kids are around out there, right? Like beyond our walls. And yet we sometimes forget the influence that we can be just ourselves by living it out authentically, not being perfect, right? Nobody's perfect, but there's a lot that we can do as parents to be that model. So thanks you guys. What about you, Jonah? Something that parents can do that you think is helpful, and would actually maybe move the needle in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, just to sum up what they were saying, building off, um, they like it's not what you tell your kids to do, but how you're telling them and how it's communicated and the timing of that as well. Because you can't just tell somebody who just got home from school, who's very exhausted and tired, that they need to lose weight. It's a really bad idea. That's a horrible idea. But you can tell them that you're excited that you lost 10 pounds last week or last month, that you reached your goal. You can talk about how you learned a new recipe and you really liked it and you wanted to share it with them. You show them that love and the excitement that you have for what you're doing in your life. It becomes infectious to others around you, not only people that you're trying to coach, but your kids especially, because they see that day to day. I personally noticed the change in my parents' perspective with health in general. We also went from pizza rolls to cauliflower potatoes. It's a good change. It's a good change.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's a popular one. We're gonna have to all sneak a little more of that in, apparently, since that's been mentioned a couple times. Okay, so Amaya, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Uh, Sometimes I even experience this, but feeling a little weird, or embarrassed about making healthier choices when you're around others who are not doing that. Sometimes you'll be the only one, and someone's like, "Why aren't you eating that thing that the rest of us are eating?" Or "Why don't you have this?" Or they try to, push things on you. Someone your age, what do you say or how do you handle that situation? What would you say to other young people who are trying to make choices and there may be a little bit of peer pressure going on?
Absolutely. What I would say, which is not very softly, is what rooms are you putting yourself in? Because for me, yes, you can bring those people up to your level, and yes, you can pour in them however much you want, but it's actually turning around, flipping the script. What rooms are you putting yourself in? What friendships are you putting yourself in? For a while, I was in a very um in a very like crowd who wanted to drink and who wanted to eat the junk food and do all the things. And I saw myself leaning that way, right? Or having to constantly over explain myself. And it wasn't until now I'm surrounded by like my best friend is a holistic doctor, nutritionist, right? And the other one's an influencer who's holistic. It's like, no, we're not going to go out to drink. We're going to go to a wellness retreat or we're going to go to the pool. It's what rooms are you putting yourself in? So I could say, like, okay, telling them that, like, yeah, I'm achieving your goals. What are you doing? Like, this is not about weight loss for me. This is honestly how I feel, and how I want to walk out my life. That was for me kind of how I explained it. And sadly, I did kind of have to step away slowly from those rooms because a lot of people just aren't willing to change. And sometimes they're still watching. Most of the time, they're still watching. And now they're reaching out 5 years later, being like, oh, now I'm realizing why you ate healthy because they're dealing with the same things I did 3 years ago, but decided, oh, I'll just save it for later. And now it's worse. And now they're coming to me for the answers. And so all around, I would say, what rooms are you putting yourself in to kind of grow that education? But also to the other people, I would say, all you can do is just stay in your own lane. Don't don't look to the right or to the left. Just stay in your own lane. Know that you're actually doing better and probably you're gonna feel better at the end of the night. So
It'll
and
be worth it,
in 10
right?
years
It'll be
time,
so worth
yes,
it.
it's all
Yeah.
gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
And in the long run, they're not like the judgment doesn't matter
Yeah.
because at least you know you feel well and there's honestly bigger rooms that are waiting for you
Yeah.
and
Yeah, in your
wanting
future.
wanting you in them. for the
So
knowledge that you
wise.
have. So.
Yeah, so wise. Thank you. That's very good. Okay, Caden, we're getting close to our time being up, so I just have a couple more questions. So Caden, tell us, is it harder, do you think, for, people that are in our culture right now, 2026, there's a lot of social media, there's a lot of cultural influences, there's a lot of mental health issues. So, here we care about the physical, but the mental is such a big piece of it too. So, do you think it's harder to be healthy at this age, physically or mentally, or maybe they complement each other in some way? I just would love your feedback on sort of the mental health piece of this and what your advice would be for people that are listening.
I actually don't think it's any harder for people at our age to be healthy. In my personal opinion, I really don't think it's harder at all. I think we have more access to information. We have AI tools that can literally give you everything to do. It's just a matter of doing them. And I think what's really important for 20 somethings right now is just understanding that like investing in your own personal growth is the best investment that you can make as far as not only getting healthier, but also improving your overall life and your pursuit of bigger things. So no, I don't think it's harder nowadays. I just think that there's not as much for some people, there's not as much reason to care because they haven't lived through enough life to realize how much it matters and how much they're really missing out on. And if people would only realize how much better life could be if you actually invested in yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I think everybody would be doing it. I think everybody is trying to. I just don't think there's as much motivation as far as extrinsically to make you do it. And I'm really lucky that I had to walk through that earlier.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, Jonah, last question for you. How do you think your future will be different because you're building healthy habits now? So, imagine yourself at 30, 40 years old. How do you think your life and your future is going to be different because of the things that you're learning and implementing for yourself?
Well, for example, I really hope to continue these habits into my family, into my future family. Um, I want to be able to have a family where we just are healthy. This is just how it's always been. And yeah, you can have birthday cake on your birthday and such, and you can have brownies every so often, but we try to stick to these things. This is what we do as a family, and maybe help to continue that kind of tradition that my parents have started. Um, I think also it'll help me just in the long run with my health in general. I've also had back issues, and so if I don't keep up on my physical therapy and keep weight off, um, I can tend to have issues.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep myself up.
Well, I always tell everybody that I wanted to be on the cruise ship, not in the nursing home, right? When I look to my future, I want to be on the cruise ship, and hopefully, because I'm on this health journey with y'all, that we can all be on the cruise ship together. Even though I'm a lot older than you, I'll still be able to be on that cruise ship with you. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, we're gonna do something fun to wrap this up quickly. We're gonna do a lightning fast. Just don't overthink it. I just want to hear popcorn quick from each of you. We'll just go Caden, Amaya, Jonah. Answer the question. Just fill in the blank, okay? Fill in the blank, whatever the first thing is that comes to your head, okay? All right, so starting with you, Caden. The best healthy habit I have is,
Walk more.
okay? Amaya, the best healthy habit I have is,
Get yourself in community.
okay? Jonah, the best healthy habit I have is,
Hit the gym.
okay? The hardest healthy habit that you have, Caden.
Going to bed on time.
Okay, what's the hardest healthy habit for you, Amaya?
Waking up early.
And Jonah, what's your hardest healthy habit?
Probably drinking water.
Okay. All right. One thing people my age worry about too much is, Caden?
What people think about them.
All right. One thing people my age think about too much, Amaya?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. How about you,
I would
Jonah?
say,
What's
yeah,
the
I would say what people think about them, like
Yeah.
judgment
Yeah, okay.
online. They care
For
too
sure.
much about judgment online. It doesn't matter.
Good one. Jonah, what do you think people your age worry about too much?
I'm going to go the reverse. I don't think they worry enough about their health.
Okay, there you go. All right, last one. 10 years from now, I want to be known as someone who, what? Caden, 10 years from now, what do you want to be known as?
Someone who was willing to beat against the normal traditional path of the world where we just get unhealthy. And I want people to look at me like, man, that guy cared so much about his own health and was willing to share with that with other people that, yeah, he made a pretty big dent in this obesity issue we have here in America.
That's awesome. Okay, Amaya, one thing that you want people to know you for 10 years from now.
That I loved others so well that they trusted me to kind of call them out on what they need to know. And they trusted me in that way, that they wanted to change.
So good. All right, Jonah, 10 years from now, what do you want to be known for as someone is who does or says what?
A support for people who are trying to get started ultimately.
That's great. Well, anybody that may know any of you would be very, very blessed and lucky to have you in their corner. I know that we're blessed and lucky to have you on tonight. So thank you all so much for being here. Everybody give them some love in the chat. Put what are your biggest takeaways in the chat from what was shared tonight. Love you all so much. Thank you for being here. And as we wrap up here, we want to thank you all for being with us, and we want to invite you to come back next Monday night, right here, same place, same time, for Let's Talk. We're going to be discussing the missing pieces. What are the components and the pieces that most weight loss programs are missing out on, and what we can do about it here in our healthy community with Optavia. So we look forward to you coming back next Monday. Thank you all for being here. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.